I mean, everybody's heard it's going to be in Albany, New York. I don't know if that's true or not.
I mean, I really think we can win this year.
Oh, no, we ain't going on. We're not talking about that.
Really, they got to be hammered to be making these decisions.
I control the media here. Oh.
I have no idea what this is.
Don't you point at me.
Well, I know like High Rocks is like the white collar Spartan race. You don't have to get muddy and you don't have to go outside. You can just do it inside. Oh, what the hell is going on?
This world needs Jesus, basically. That's what I'm learning. This episode is brought to you by Whoop. Whoop is a 24/7 health and fitness wearable that tracks your daily activity and gives detailed breakdowns of your sleep, recovery, stress, and more to help provide you with personalized insights and feedback on your health. With 140 trackable daily habits, Whoop can help show the positives and negatives of your lifestyle. Try Whoop for 1 month free and start the journey towards a healthier you. Head to join.whoop.com/mayhem to get started.
Last night at like 7 or 8 o'clock,
Last night,
fire investigation came out, and it was for Engine 3, and they went to it. And I didn't know that they were there for hours. Like, we were in bed, and I heard Joey, who's our lieutenant right now, he came upstairs and got the guy. I was on the other truck, but he came up, and I heard him wake up his firefighter and said, hey, we need to go out here and relieve Engine 3 because they've been out there for like 4 or 5 hours. What they were doing is there was this crazy guy who poured gasoline all over his house and all over himself.
He was just threatening to light it.
And was going to light it. And so they were just on his standby for like 4 hours waiting for him to light it.
Why don't they just blast him with a hose and get the gas off of him?
I don't know. And then
I think this is fine.
And then they
yeah, you just I mean
I don't
set
know.
up the deck gun and just blast him.
Hose him.
Just like out of nowhere, just like or sneak around with the hose and just blast him.
So they left. Like, I woke up and I go,
this world needs Jesus, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I'm learning.
I go, what the hell is going on? And they explained it to me, and then they were gone for like 20 minutes, came back. I guess they arrested him or something, or something happened. I'm not sure.
Nice. Well, crazy.
What a cheery start to the
crazy
podcast.
2025.
Yeah. Soaked himself in gasoline. He's going to light himself on fire. It's crazy.
I'm the younger, less good-looking Rory.
You're going to have to keep this thing going because me and Angelo just derail it. And then also when it gets quiet and awkward.
He's not going to make
a
it
mediator.
Better.
No.
I don't know if I'm going to help this whole case, but should we tell why I'm sitting here?
Rory texted us, what time, this morning or last night?
It was like 6 a.m., I think.
Rory's got the poops and pukes. So he said he could still come. But nobody wants that. I don't want that anywhere near me.
I've dodged a lot of sickness this year.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I don't know if it's this is a Mountain Ops shout out, but an impromptu Mountain Ops shout out. Mountain Ops has combined my two biggest passions, fitness and the outdoors, as well as sourcing quality ingredients. Mountain Ops supplements has helped me get the most out of my training sessions in and out of the gym. If you want to start taking your results seriously, I've put together a bundle of Mountain Ops products. New and returning customers save 20% on their purchase when you visit mountainops.com and use the code Froning. That's MTNOPS.com, code FRONING. I've been like the vitamin D gummies, hammering them. They're D plus K12. Every time like I hear a cough in the house or a sniffle in the house, I go hit one. And I'm telling you, I've knock on wood, I've been like
I go hit one.
Just dodging stuff because everybody in the house has had something this fall, winter, and I'm just like,
I've been all right too. Actually,
maybe all the outside activity I've been doing.
If we didn't get sick from camping in 29 degrees in our 50-degree sleeping bags, then we'll be fine.
Okay, hold on. First of all, I had to make this joke. I dodged the sickness like that buck dodged my arrow. But anyway, you'll see the video.
Too soon, but you said it.
Too soon, man. It hurt. Yeah. Backstory. Clay Newcomb texted me while we were podcasting with Steven, and if Clay Newcomb asks if you want to go hunt whitetails in Oklahoma, you immediately say yes, right? You know, he was on 2 days' notice. He had a buddy back out on the lease that he's on us, so I'm all in, right?
Some other people said no, so that's how Rich ended up with our invite.
Basically, hey, but I'll take seconds. And so we're sitting there, and he's like, all right. He calls me. He's like, we'll be camping, and, you know, just whatever you need camping-wise, sleeping bags, tent, whatever. And I'm like, all right, cool. It's about 10 hours, so it was a little bit more in my – so I bought a GMC Canyon AEV, the Bison edition. It's pretty sweet. Just because my F-250 it's big, it's bulky, and I never really thought about it being that big until I got in this smaller truck, and it's just awesome to ride around. So I've not driven the diesel in a little while, so both batteries are dead. And so we're like, well, I don't want to tow I didn't want to tow the farm trailer that the NZ camper trailer 10 hours. So I'm like, we'll just tent camp, right? It's not that big a deal. It's 2 nights, whatever. Well, we have an awesome Peaks tent.
But it's not the stove tent.
It's not the stove tent. It's the thinnest, like the blankets that you see that they give you after a marathon. That's what it feels.
Yeah.
And the wind, it was wind out because you're in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Perfect for September elk hunting. Not perfect.
Not perfect for
January
30 degrees whitetail hunting. What night was that? Wednesday night? It was New Year's Day night.
Yeah. The first
might have
night.
been the coldest I've ever been in my life.
Well, I don't think so. The tent was not meant for that weather, but also I
our
think
sleeping bags.
The
are
sleeping
50
bags
degree
was the
sleeping
bigger
bags.
problem.
My god,
dude! I had it wrapped. I had it over my head, and I had the net. They have a net on them, which is awesome. I didn't realize they had them until this trip. But the net, because like when you wrap the sleeping bag in, you're like breathing your own air. You feel like you're suffocating because you're only breathing carbon dioxide, and you might die.
Yeah.
And so this has like a net, but it kind of holds the temperature, and it was pretty good. But my toes, I thought it was, dude. I slept like 4 hours that night, and we were in bed for 7.5, 8.
Yeah.
It was absolute. I could not wait. I was like Scott on the elk hunting trip. I could not wait for the alarm to go so we could get up and go. And then luckily I brought that truck and not the diesel because we did some off-roading.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been fine, but it wouldn't have been ideal. Like I don't know where we would have turned it around sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a fun trip. We got to eat we had elk burgers the first night over the fire, and they were incredible.
Yep.
And then
the very first night we got there, we ate before we got to camp.
Chick-fil-A.
Yep. And then we had the elk burgers night 2.
And then night 3 or technically night 2.
We were on a steady climb of meals, and we ended with the highest point.
Yeah, and then, he had just a cast iron skillet, cooked up some bear grease, which is his podcast and his kind of livelihood is bear grease. And we had potatoes and onions in it, and then some catfish, fried up some catfish. It was incredible for a, campfire meal.
Yeah.
It was almost like that deer heart, how incredible that deer heart was that time we did it, so.
Sam was telling me his son killed one with the traditional bow that he built.
Self bow.
Self bow, yeah.
Which I found out is made out of one piece of wood. There's no laminate on it. I read Clay's.
I found out too.
Yeah, it's like more
because I was like, traditional bow. They're like, it's different. And I'm like, how's it different? Self bow.
And he made it himself.
He made it himself,
which has nothing to do with the name.
No,
but he did make it.
And he killed a deer with it.
Yeah.
Little 6-point. He was only trying to kill a doe, and of course he killed a 6-point. So it was cool. It was man, where we were at in Oklahoma was beautiful. It was not what I expected, Oklahoma to be.
Not flat.
There were some pretty good hills, but it felt like New Mexico or not the desert of Arizona.
Yeah, we sat in one tree the second night. Yeah, the second night.
It's like a hunting
and
night.
You're looking out over it, and it looks like if you've seen any elk hunting videos in Arizona or New Mexico,
that's what it felt.
That's what it looked exactly
awesome.
like.
I don't think I've ever been to Oklahoma.
That
was
the
my
first time I'd stopped in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
I'd been through it, but it was awesome. Minus so this is not going to turn into a hunting podcast. It'll come back to CrossFit.
While you talk, I'm going to make sure the cameras haven't turned off because no one's monitoring them.
It's very it's just this is a current events podcast, I guess technically. Yeah. So we were currently hunting. I sent you the video. So we're sitting there. Me and Scott are in the same tree. We're in saddles, so we can kind of move around. We're kind of thinking the deer are going to come from one way. Our wind is in our face. Wind in our face, kind of cross wind, I guess. It's not optimal. It's blowing. It's Oklahoma. Scott, we're kind of on a wedge here. Well, almost tip to tip, but a little bit different. And so we're sitting there, and I'm actually no sound on Notre Dame and Georgia game. And so I'm sitting there. It's just sitting on my backpack. I've got it clipped to the tree. Which
we
I
have
found
a good track record of animals coming in while you're watching football games.
While I'm watching football games, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And so sitting there, and I'm looking. It's kind of early for deer activity at this point. It's not prime, right? Hour and a half before dark. It's starting to get there, but it's not quite there. And so I'm just looking every once in a while, just scan, watch. And then all of a sudden, Scott goes, "You got does coming in behind you, and a buck, not a shooter." And so I grab
not a shooter.
But I know, so I'm like, all right, there could be a buck with him. So I grab my bow, and it's directly behind me.
Yeah, great.
And so the worst possible, like shooting,
Mm-hmm.
anything. And so I kind of like roll back. Well, of course,
all wrapped up in your saddle.
all wrapped up in my saddle. It's like coming across my body, all the rope. And all of a sudden I look and I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? That thing is, I mean, out there it was huge. Like people will be like, oh, you know, if you watch the video, it'll be like, oh, well, it was like a 120, 130, whatever, but who cares? It was awesome.
It's a good buck.
It's a good buck.
What I saw before we go any further
was
I saw his bases, and all the bucks there like were pretty thin horned.
Yeah.
They didn't have a lot of mass, but they were really tall and like wide usually.
So all you saw was the base and thin base.
And he didn't really have like brow tines. He was kind of weird. It was just
they
like
almost like broke off. I'll send you a picture of him.
But
dude, if I'm gonna go,
but then when he walks out
in another state for 3 days or whatever, I'm probably gonna shoot that. You know.
well,
like,
yeah,
no,
so when he walked,
watch this.
when he walked out, he was definitely a shooter. But
I'm just saying, like I'd shoot. I'm gonna shoot just any basket 8 probably.
I thought it was like a little 6-point when I saw the bases of him.
I'm gonna shoot anything that looks like this. I drive across the country, shoot that.
Like if I see this, and I'm on a lease for 3 days that I just got invited to, I'm probably never. Maybe I'll hunt it again, maybe not. I'm probably gonna shoot that. Like I'm here for like I'm gonna get to meet.
I'm not here for a long time, but I'm here for a good time.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
And so that's the deer that came, and he had a ton of character and like
I'm definitely
kind of goofy, like
really goofy.
When he came out, I was like, man, I really hope he doesn't think that I think that's not a shooter. But we can't talk. We can't talk. We've been caught with our pants down. He's behind us,
and so he had to cross a 2-track trail.
Yeah.
And so he comes to the edge of the trail and stops because I'm on the side of the tree. Like this, we've set this up thinking nothing's going to come from that way because of the wind. And of course it comes that way. Scott has all the cover. I'm in the wide open basically. And so this thing walks out and it looks up. And I'm like, oh,
it just sees like this fist hanging off the tree.
And
like,
so
oh, God.
it starts doing the like stomp.
Oh no.
And so like my heart's racing. I'm like,
yeah,
please just move, do something. Right.
Yeah.
And so for 3 or 4 minutes it does that. Well, every time I try to like get a better look at him, I start to shut off my carotid artery. Oh. And everything starts to go dim. I'm telling you, I'm like pretzeled in this position. And so finally I'm like, all right, I can't do that. So I'm just looking at a corner of my eye.
It sucks. And your eyes are hurting.
And dude, my heart is like, it would go in these like hard beats and then it would stop. Hard beats. And so then all of a sudden he goes to walk and gives me broadside. So I draw and guessed at 40. And when I say guessed, I've shot more in this last year. I shot my bow more in this last year than I've ever shot my entire life combined.
Yeah.
At all kinds of different ranges. So I've got a pretty good grasp on. It's not perfect, but like.
But you can be within about probably 5 yards
or more.
Yeah.
And so I draw, set up, let an arrow go, 40 yards right on him, and it looks perfect. And then I hear kind of the whack, like you hear when you hit something. And so me and Scott are like, we're in business.
Sounded good.
We did it. It looked good, whatever. So sit there for 20 minutes, 20 minutes, talking about what we're going to do. Get down, pull the saddle, pull the sticks, go get the truck, and it's like half a mile away.
Yeah.
So now you have plenty of time.
So we got plenty of time. So I go check the arrow. Arrow's covered in meat, not blood, which was kind of like,
yeah, you're like,
that's weird. That's weird. And so find blood. We're like, cool. Find blood.
Found a lot of blood.
Puddles. Blood, puddles, a couple drops of blood. And this is now in like hour and a half, 2 hours. And so we're like, sweet, blood goes cold. And so
it was so much blood. You thought you were going to follow it. You didn't have to look for it. It was just there. And you're like, oh, this is going to lead us like a breadcrumb trail right to this deer.
And so we went back and watched the video on his camera. And
it was sort of telling the little screen.
Yeah. And so it looks, I mean, the hard part is he's at a different angle. He's kind of back.
There's a branch.
There's a branch in front of it. We know it dips.
I mean, he ducks a mile.
And that's partly on me of just not hunting whitetail a ton at this point. But he ducked. I mean, at 40 yards, they have a lot of time to duck. He was at 37 yards, which is an inch or two. He dipped 3-4 inches.
Yeah, several inches.
And, like he went to turn. It wasn't like they don't actually duck your arrow, but he like flinches when he hears the string.
When they hear something.
And I mean, if Scott said if you make a bad shot low, a deer's dead. You made a perfect shot, you're still alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we think he's still alive. So we looked for another 2 hours. Clay's like, come on back. We'll go back in an hour. Maybe he'll bed up and die. And we get back, and Clay, we watched on the bigger screen, and it looks high, but it looks I mean,
Could still
with
be good,
so
maybe,
much
yeah.
blood. So me and Scott the next morning went back and looked for another 2.5
Yeah.
hours. And I mean, we gridded the whole. I mean,
Every direction.
the only thing we could have done more to go look for him was call dogs or something like that. But you're in an area I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so
When-
it's not my property. I'm not
Yeah.
bringing people on somebody else's property. So
Dogs running around, people.
man,
are
we
hunting.
looked for 4 hours for this thing basically, and we did. I mean, we gridded as much like hypothetical. All right, he went this way, right? Everything about the line, everything about what we know is he went down this way. There was a creek like 30 yards from where he stopped, where blood stopped. So we went to the creek, went across the creek, came back, went down the creek, up, down, through. Like, I mean,
How far away was the first puddle from where you guys were?
30, 40 yards.
He didn't stop there. He didn't stop there, you don't think?
Probably for a second, but not like.
Yeah. Well, because that's usually like
Yeah.
if they're messed up, they'll stop, and then they'll go a little farther, and they'll stop and bed down.
This is exactly what it looks like, dude. Like,
Yeah, and then they'll run, and then they'll. Well, I'm saying like if they may, it could be a non-fatal wound if they do it, because they'll stop and they'll be like, what, and they'll they'll drip, and obviously sometimes they die there, or they'll
Clay
do it
seems to
again.
think it was non-fatal.
Yeah.
Other people I've talked to, they're like, you either hit no man's land or you hit like top of lung,
Yeah.
one lung. The way he turned,
Because the way he turned, you could have even, I think if you look at the anatomy, you could have even hit like shoulder blade into the back in the back strap, and you could have just like no man's land kind of thing. You could have just hit.
yeah. The hard
on-
part is like you see the arrow ish go in, but you see it come out. The hard part is like it can't go through backstrap. You know,
Yeah.
like it'll hit
spine.
his spine, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know. It was weird, but feel bad. So came home empty-handed. We did our due diligence. Like I don't feel like we could have done anything else other than hire dogs or hire something else. But
Drone.
drone. Yeah.
I don't know if
what's
you
legal
can even
there.
retrieve
I don't
though,
know.
because
No,
some
you
states
can't.
you can use it to find it, but you can't
Yeah.
retrieve it, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so when that guy leaves, I'll go find the deer.
Yeah. You
It's
tell me where exactly
yeah.
it is.
He said, yeah, actually, there's a dead deer right here. Looks just like the one you shot. All right, thanks, man. I appreciate it. All right, let's go get that
that's
deer.
We'll go hunt him. So yeah. So we're back from Oklahoma. Man, whitetail season's been tough for me. No buck. It's been rough.
Struck out in Illinois, Oklahoma, Tennessee.
Yeah. I mean, the only place I really let an arrow go though is Oklahoma though, so I don't feel as bad.
Yeah.
But I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, Illinois, I was in great spots and nothing. Here, had a couple good. If I had a rifle, I could have killed a couple bucks, but trying to do the bow thing here at the house.
It was frustrating here this year.
Yeah,
Just-
frustrating and kind of cool though. I mean, we saw more.
Yeah,
bucks
yeah,
than we've
it
ever
was
seen
cool. It was
here, and
frustrating because I felt like we did some good work, and I felt like we had the best food around here and had good spots. I don't feel like we overhunted it. Maybe at some
we
points we
hunted it less
did.
this year than last year.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like we had, and like you said, you having a bow a lot made it difficult. But I don't know if I don't know. I never came up here with my rifle. I went to the lease a couple times, but
Yeah.
it was just whitetail frustrating.
They are. All right, that's enough with hunting. What do you want to talk about now, Scott? You're the moderator.
I don't know. Let's see. I was kind of hoping we were going to have Facundo on here and tell us what we're doing in Europe.
Yeah, we'll be in
That's
Europe.
our next trip. You may have to watch the Lions play in the Super Bowl with Amon Ra's German contingent.
I can't believe I did not think about that when we planned this trip.
So the Sunday we'll be in Germany is the Sunday of the Super Bowl. So
There's a chance Lions are playing in the Super Bowl.
yeah, so not only will he miss the game, we'll have to watch it at like 2 a.m. or probably later.
Oh my
It'll start at it'll start at like 3 a.m., wouldn't it?
I don't even know. I'll be there.
8 o'clock.
Either that or I'll find a flight home Saturday
8
night.
o'clock
I'll take
Eastern.
a red eye home.
I don't think they red eye from Europe to.
I'll figure out some way to get home.
To go to the
You'd
game.
have to
No,
fly on.
I wish.
You'd have to fly on Sunday morning.
You don't think you could? I guess you could.
Well,
Yeah,
they
there you
don't.
go.
I don't think they do flights from Europe.
No,
to
sorry, I'm
United
just
States
asking about
overnight.
him
Where's
going to the game.
Super Bowl this year.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Hey Siri, where is the Super Bowl this year? Nolans.
Oh,
Mm.
really?
Yep. So yeah,
Heard it like
I
that
did
down there
text
this-
Travis Purdy and was like, "Hey man, if he bought season tickets to the Lions a couple years ago, I was like,
NFC
hey,
Championship game.
any playoff game, I was like, hey, if you're selling any tickets, I know a guy first, so he's gonna let me know.
You went to the game against
Went
Tampa?
to Bucks, yeah.
Yeah.
Bucks game last year.
Dang.
Yeah, that atmosphere is pretty incredible. It's awesome. One of the coolest sporting. I mean, it's just that city's so starved for anything good to happen.
If they don't do it, if they don't do it in the next year or two, dude, it's
Probably
just
got about 2 years.
Yeah, gonna go back into a lull.
Well, I don't know if it'll go back into
You
a
don't
lull,
think?
but they've got some contracts that are they've got to pay people, and then
Yeah, you have a
Brad Holmes is good. Dan Campbell's awesome.
Mhm.
Both of them are awesome. That's a good.
It's just that seems like
you get 2 or 3 years, then you get 2 or 3 years.
They'll still be good, but you have a small window where you're a Super Bowl team.
Super Bowl team.
It's very rare to be like the Chiefs.
The Patriots of
Yeah.
2000s.
Yeah, where you can keep winning because those young guys that turn out they should be getting paid $100 million, but they're getting paid like $2 million.
Yep.
Mhm.
If you have a lot of those guys, you can win for a couple of years, and then you got to pay them.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you start to lose a few.
Do we have any more detail that we can share about the Classic? I don't really know.
I've seen that some on the Classic or some of the what are they calling those?
They're calling
qualifier events?
Qualifier
them
events.
in-person
Qualifier
qualifier
events.
event. Is that it?
I think so.
QEs.
Peter, Coffee Pods and Wads, Peter does like drunk updates, and they're actually really informative if you know what you're listening to. But it's pretty funny because he's like basically all the CrossFit people. It's like all the CrossFit. He's basically being all the CrossFit like big wigs.
Yeah.
And that are basically they got to be hammered to be making these decisions. So they're all talking to each other, and he's like, "So what are we gonna call it?" Call them qualifier events. He goes, but everyone's just going to call them semifinals anyways. Can we just call them that? And they go, no, online semifinals, but qualifier events.
Can't give them the semifinal.
He goes, okay.
All
Or
right.
whatever it's called.
I've seen some are like geographical.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, ours isn't geographical.
Ours is not. Prestige worldwide. Mayhem worldwide.
Yep.
Maybe we should just change it to that instead of the Classic.
Mayhem
Mayhem
worldwide.
Actually, this is
That's my boat.
This is
we put liquid paper on a B.
this is a good thing to talk about.
Okay.
Some people seem to think that we're running this whole competition just to get a couple of our athletes to the
Oh my
games.
gosh. Okay,
Which,
so
I'll be the first to say I didn't even want to do it in the beginning because it's so much work.
It is.
Why would we do
Why
this
would
much
we do
work?
so much work and put so much money into it?
I have such a good argument to it.
Okay,
Such a
let's
good
hear it.
argument. I told this to
Will it
Scott.
hold up in court?
So if we, yeah, I think so. So if I think as soon as we have our roster of the Mayhem Classic,
I don't want to do
people-
this.
Put the workouts out.
I don't
Put the
want to do
workouts
that.
out. It's gonna be not Scott. It's gonna be like 2 weeks before it.
I don't want
It's gonna be
people
like
to be able
2
to
weeks.
practice
No,
them
we need to have
into
a
the
roster
ground.
soon.
Well,
That way gives people time.
how are we gonna?
We're looking at. I
Yeah,
haven't put this out there. I don't care. If not, we'll show Rory and he
It's
can tell us not. But
Literally
anyway,
your
gonna,
show.
Yeah, I can do what I want.
And
thought-
your
I'm gonna do
company.
whatever I want.
And your competition.
Okay, I'm gonna do what I want. We're gonna do a similar thing to what Rogue does to what the CrossFit worldwide ranking used to be that they put out and got rid of, where basically you kind of put we got to figure out what events will go into that algorithm or whatever you want to call it, scoring system.
Okay.
But basically it'll be that. So the top 20 in the world in CrossFit in the last
Okay, so we'll have a roster
like
sooner than I'm
within
saying.
weeks.
Okay,
And then
okay.
the one contingent is if you want to, I mean, we'll offer people that aren't competing technically anymore in the season, allegedly. But if,
Allegedly,
and so
yeah.
to go to the games, they have to have done the open. So like they could win our competition,
But if they didn't do
but
the
they
open,
didn't do
don't
the
get
open, they
spot.
can't go to the games. And
Oh,
so,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
That's the way I'm understanding it.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I'm not gonna.
We're
then my
basically-
argument won't hold up.
Well, we're basically like assuming that those people
Don't
would be the
assume
top
ever.
1%, but even if they're not, we don't really care.
Yeah.
Because we're still sending the same amount of people to games.
Mhm.
And then I guess if they decline, because I'm assuming like a portion of them would,
Yep.
then it just backfills down that same list or
Yeah. That's exactly how we'll do it.
yeah.
We talked about doing like 15 and then 5 invitations. But I don't think we're going to do that.
Okay.
We might do one invitation, one special invite, I said. I think I
Maybe-
already said out there.
All right.
Yeah, but only not many people know that because it was just on.
Oh,
the,
it was just on that.
the Row live stream.
Yeah, so Hunter McIntyre, if he wants to come out and do the Mayhem Classic, come on. Welcome. Free.
Haven't we already seen how that plays out
He's
at the
not that good
games
at CrossFit.
in 2019?
Hey, let's see.
Was it 2019?
He made it through the first event, right?
No.
He didn't make it through the first
I
event.
think he got cut.
No, he
I
made it.
think
He
he
made
made-
the first event.
Oh.
But
Made it
that
the
first
first
event
event.
was just like,
Oh, it was so easy.
it
to
was
get
so
through that.
easy, yeah.
I mean, like
The running
Scott,
squat
you would have
snatch.
taken top 50.
The running legless squat snatch one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not. I mean, sorry, it's not a hard.
Was it
it's a
180?
hard workout.
185.
185.
It's a hard workout, but like we're talking about, like you're doing it against 5 p.m.
I am
class
surprised that he
members.
can squat snatch 185.
I mean, if you
pretty
could
strong.
do it, dude, if you could do it at all,
He's
you
pretty strong,
much
and
make the
185
first
is
cut.
not.
I'm not
hard
saying it's
squat
I'm not
snatch.
saying it's heavy for that level, but I'm saying
Well,
like,
he was. You gotta imagine he was like doing that all the time at the time. Like he wasn't doing his. Is Spartan race the thing anymore, or High Rocks basically just washed him away?
I think High Rocks
High Rocks is Spartan race.
I think they still have it.
Oh, okay.
I think they.
I thought they.
petered out.
Well, I know that like High Rocks is like the white collar Spartan race. You don't have to get muddy and you don't have to go outside and you can just do it inside.
Prestige.
That's such a
Prestigious.
good. That's such a good.
It's so true.
That's
Well,
such a good
and we were
analogy.
talking about this the other day. And hey, no knock to High Rocks. I know we joked and put that last clickbait on it, but it's just a CrossFit event. It's just a single CrossFit event. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You know,
It's fine, whatever. It's just
it's not.
I don't want to train for it because I don't want to train the same things all the time.
Well, it's like you
I like the
said-
challenge of not knowing what
Yeah,
I'm doing CrossFit.
and I like and I know people are like, well, that's the point of High Rocks is you don't have to have skill and whatever. But I like a little bit of like
Yeah.
barrier to entry. You know,
for sure.
there's really no barrier to entry on that. Which is
Cardio.
which is incredible. Get people moving, get people something to train for. I'm fine with that. Me personally, I would rather have a little bit of barrier to entry. You know,
What you said on Clay's podcast, I think is like the perfect thing, which is, do we think that CrossFit's the best way to like
most efficient way.
the most efficient way to get fit and like have good longevity in your life? Yes. But ultimately, if you're doing something, it's better than doing nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll we did a little campfire podcast with
did you?
Clay and
The
talked
smoke was going in our
CrossFit.
eyes.
Smoked. I couldn't breathe, and
That's
I now
great.
have cancer from it. But it was awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, there's actually Nate Illingsworth has a pretty good description of the difference between CrossFit and High Rocks on Instagram, and it's 100% true. Where it's just like
his videos
it's different.
are so good.
so different, but it's not different. You know, like High Rocks is good, CrossFit bad.
Right?
Do you think we'll get a good amount of athletes at the Classic that can't compete in May because of WFP,
What's WFP?
World Fitness
Really
Project?
fitness project.
Ooh, is that started already?
Well, so the first competition is
Is
in
in
May,
between
and I think it's happening like pretty
two
close.
qualifier events.
Yeah, it's
right in
either
between.
between or it might be on the same weekend as one of them. I don't remember.
Okay. It might be. I don't remember either.
But I'm wondering if that might play a role in people maybe deciding to do the Classic.
Yeah,
Or is
I would
there's
think
another
so.
April competition too. I don't
Did
remember
I
which
see
one.
that there's basically undercards with like everyday people that everybody can do? And
Well,
then
so
I
I
have no idea.
so I
what
think
this
the
is.
either,
way
other
those
than they're just paying
competitions
athletes.
the way the competitions are going to work,
Okay.
because there's 3.
There's only 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are going to be huge. Like they should be similar to like a Wadapalooza where they can actually sustain themselves. And well, it sounds like they would sustain themselves maybe based on like all the participation. So we'll see. But the top, there'll be like the 20 people on the pro circuit plus the extra 10 that make it through the online qualifier. So there's like, the pro ones, it'll be like 30 and 30. And
This
then
just sounds like
if you finish in the top 20 of the
longevity killer.
if you finish in the top 20 of the league,
Yeah.
then you're on salary or whatever for the next year, and then the challengers still have to like try to get
Make
in.
their way up.
Yeah.
I don't hate the model. I feel like it's almost too late. If that makes sense.
Like in the season.
That been the run of it, you know, like
like in
this
the
is
run
something
of
that should
CrossFit?
have been, like this would have been really cool earlier. I don't know. I mean, I hope they prove me wrong and we can figure out a way to like, it'll help. But I just feel like it's a lot.
Yeah, I think the only downside is what you're talking about, which is the lack of an off season.
Yeah.
I think more opportunities to compete is
I love
great
it. Yep.
and make money.
Yep.
But it's tough when the competitions are happening. So like one happens during like what you'd call the traditional CrossFit game season.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones I believe are in the
Off season.
off season. So if you do both, you kind of compete the
You
whole
never
year.
stop.
Plus
Yeah,
you
you
plus
never
you
stop.
have the Rogue Invitational because a lot of these people are the same athletes going to Rogue.
Well, because it helps you get
Sounds
into
like your
rogue.
nervous system is going to be shot after
Yeah.
it. The older I've
All the
gotten, I've gotten after the game season, I was just done. Like all of a sudden my fitness was just gone the day after the games because my nervous system was just like, okay,
Yeah.
we're done. Like I immediately became unfit. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Deconditioned.
I could see if
and I kept training, like, and not training, but kept working out. I just felt just nothing.
I could see if it was if the competitions were similar to like the SoCal Wadapalooza, where it was like the Invitational, but also like there's like a team of 8 or whatever, and you only have to send out certain athletes for certain events.
So grid league.
Yeah, but
cooler,
it's like
but better.
It's good grid
kidding.
league. You know what I mean? Because they're not doing crazy stuff. It's still CrossFit, but it's like, hey, we're gonna pick these 3 athletes for this event, and we're going to pick these 2 athletes. It's almost like you're doing a team.
I almost would have been fine with like a full team competition. But. Recover faster, breathe easier, and increase your endurance with Airwave's scientifically proven performance mouthpiece. If high-intensity or interval-style training is your sport, try their patented endurance mouthpiece. I opted for the Mayhem 2-pack with 1 of each. For podcast listeners only, save 15% of your purchase at airwave.com/Froning. That's airwave.com/Froning. When it comes to training flooring, durability is the most important factor. With Regapol's established 65-year history, the decision for our studio flooring was simple. Made from recycled tires, Regapol floors are indestructible, durable, and easy to install, and has less smell than other rubber flooring products on the market. To purchase, go to roguefitness.com and search Regupol. That's spelled REGUPOL. Get strong, grow durable, and unlock your potential on Regapol rubber flooring.
Yeah, I think right there was maybe a Mountain Ops ad.
All right.
Or we're far enough in, it could be Airwave.
Speaking of,
I tried to do the recovery Airwave last night, the sleeping one, and I fell asleep, which was surprising because at first I was like, this is never going to work. But then I woke up and my mouth was just so dry.
Well, because it's open, right?
I think so.
Is it supposed to help snoring?
I don't know.
Do you snore?
I don't know. Apparently Hillary says she can tell if I'm very tired because I'll snore or sick.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't notice when we were in that little tent.
Your teeth
weren't really sleeping.
I was actually warm every night, but I had thick wool socks.
So the first night I had Mayhem socks with the wool socks over.
Yeah.
Which I've always read is a bad idea, but I'm like, double socks. Feet froze. So in the middle of the night, I'd unzip my bag, take my under socks off, and put the wool ones on. I was fine after that.
Mm-hmm.
The next night, which was a little warmer, I wore my thermic bibs, and I was hot, and I slept good.
It was the third night that was hot, though.
Yeah,
I woke up sweaty.
I woke up and had to like unzip my, because I just wore long johns. I took my socks off, and then I fell asleep outside my bag, and then woke up freezing. It was It was and like we took those Mayhem or the NZ Camper pads, which they were great, but. The tent was it's an incredible tent. It's a Peaks tent. Just not for what we were doing. It was just like, it sounded like a trash bag blowing in the wind.
Yeah. They've got a hot stove tent that would have been perfect for that scenario.
Bird.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, before you go there.
No.
You know what segues perfect into that? Curtis texts me. He's
Sprinter van?
He's got all the most of the work done to start doing the cabinets and stuff.
Did you tell him a layout and everything?
He sent me one. We'll have to go over it.
It's a Sprinter van, right?
Yeah, Sprinter van.
Nice.
He sent me a video explaining it all.
My mother-in-law had one. It was nice.
And so
we're gonna take this thing on affiliate tours and hunting trips.
I can't wait.
They're really
it's
nice.
A 170.
Yeah, I don't know.
4-wheel drive.
Yeah,
it's
I
a big
don't.
one.
Yeah,
it's a big one.
The one that we my mother-in-law had one, and it was, we borrowed it, and they were getting ready to sell it, and we just did not need to have a car payment on this van that we were going to use once a year, so we just didn't get it. But it would have been sweet.
Yep.
It was really nice. We really wanted to buy it. I don't snore.
You point at me.
I don't snore, but I bite my tongue gently.
See,
gets in between my molars.
Apparently, I'm wearing holes in my teeth from lifting.
Yeah,
and then also from, I guess at night I grind. I don't know.
Yeah, I had
Violet. You hear.
My sister used to do that.
She grinds hard.
Grinding hard.
Yeah, my sister used to do that. It's unnerving to listen to.
How does she have? Why is she grinding her teeth?
Stress. I
she
guess.
Can't stress. She can't have any stress yet.
No. Violet's the sweetest. I don't know, man. She just grinds her teeth, bro.
It's a really unnerving sound.
Yep.
Hey, are you going to coach at all this weekend? Dom, I was talking to Dom yesterday, and he wants you to get some coaching reps during the Wadapalooza prep camp.
Yeah, I told him maybe we might, mine and Brian's, our deer mount. Let me show you my deer mount. Our deer mounts are done in Kentucky. And
from what hunt?
From Illinois last year.
Oh, the Jeez.
The tines are so tall.
Oh my!
Crazy.
Why can't I film him hunt?
You could have all season, and he didn't kill anything either.
It's true.
Anything.
That's awesome.
It's crazy.
That's cool.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it's like 3 hours away, but it's me and Madison talked about making like a trip and do like the arc encounter. It's like that's like 30 minutes north of there.
Okay, that's not bad.
So like we might. So I don't know. Maybe I told him maybe I might go out of town just for like go up there for the afternoon, the evening, and then stay the night and then come home.
Still
grab the
open
deer.
hunting season in Kentucky.
Yeah. I'll go poach something.
And cut.
Well, I'll be at the gym.
That property
Friday
that
and
we
Saturday.
were
I
like
might do
Kelsey sent.
Yeah,
It was
there's
like-
been a bunch of scrub bucks. And
There's
some does.
nothing in there. It's the thing.
So you're not going to buy that property?
Ooh, hey, actually,
Good deer.
I mean, not terrible.
I mean, it's.
I mean, no, this was at 6:30 a.m.
Let's see here.
Look, I mean, he's late.
I'm looking.
I wouldn't go to
Yeah,
Kentucky
I'm
for
looking.
him.
I drive across
Yeah.
the country for that deer right now.
No,
That's decent.
He's not bad. He's not great, but he's not bad.
he'll be a good one next
He'll
year,
be a good one next year.
and the year after
There's
that.
Better
there's-
than this one.
Wall hanger. I was just looking at that's a wall hanger right there. That's good though. I mean, it's good. There's a deer there.
Yeah.
A good deer. There's probably. It's not a peak time to like see deer movement right now, so
No.
you don't know what really could be out there or not. But I mean,
Yeah, so
seeing a deer out there
backstory
good.
is this: there's a property on, I think it was what, Facebook Marketplace that Kelsey Canfield found,
That's the best.
and so a cat on Matt's, and so he's like, it's, you know, the ad says lots of wildlife, and all we've seen are little baby scrub bucks basically. So I mean, there's wildlife, but just not what we were hoping for. So
We haven't podcasted since the row. I think we need to publicly announce our
Yeah.
defeat.
yeah, we got third.
Oh my
Looks
gosh.
like we
know.
had some technical difficulties. But that is what it is. Next year we'll come back for the title.
Holy crap! Who beat you guys?
Two
I don't know.
teams.
2 teams.
You guys rode hard.
Yeah. So we did hold a sub 155 pace the entire 24 hours. No, we didn't win.
I know that's crazy.
But
I think
I was
no
like
one beat our
152.
3-man record
I
from.
was like
last year.
152 or 153 the whole time, I think. I think you
I
were
had
close to that
I
until
had
then.
one set that dipped to like 156, and you said some choice words to me,
No.
and
Some
I
very uplifting and
yeah.
positive like reinforcement telling
Yeah.
you how valuable you are.
yeah,
and-
that didn't happen.
And
I
I
mean,
and
that's
then-
my
that didn't
leadership
happen.
style. You
and
know,
then my
like,
next.
yeah.
So I was at like a
spiritual
156.
gift.
I was at a 156 because my hands hurt so bad. It wasn't even that I was physically unable to pull.
You
My-
can't hang on to the
It
paddle.
felt like there were glass shards in my hands. And he told me what he told me, and then I proceeded to row a sub 150 for the rest of
You
the
know,
time.
just call me Confucius.
And then we started hopping in on AJ's, so I thought I was done. I had to be like a 145. I thought my
Okay,
heart was
so-
gonna pop.
Let me tell you a little bit what happened was, we basically were gonna do 9 sets each
Yep.
per 2-man team within your 4. So it's 4-person. You split into 2s, and you do 4 by 10 minutes back and forth, and then
80 minutes off.
and then the other group gets, and technically you get 90 minutes off because you get your 1 extra row off,
Yeah.
10 minutes. So, which was, I think, the play.
Yeah.
So you'd do 9 sets. Well, within about 5 sets,
We did that for 5.
we did 5 sets of that, and then we did 8 sets of 5 minutes
minutes.
back and forth, which
Same
was
thing.
perfect at that time. 10 minutes was perfect, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, almost like we did last time. Well, then the last set of so me and Scott finished our 8s, and we're like, we're done.
It was 6:40 a.m.
6:40 a.m., hour 20, like we're done. And AJ does 1 or 2 and is like, if you guys want me to hold this pace, I'm going to need your help. And I'm like,
Oh no.
Because Dre was holding under 155, but barely, and AJ was holding like 159.
yep. And so I jumped on, Dre jumps back on, Scott jumps on, AJ jumps on.
No, well then Dre and then AJ.
Yeah, and then Dre, then AJ, and then I jumped back on. So I did do 2 extra, but Scott
Yeah.
went like lights out, blackout on his last. So you got a decent
got a
rig,
fine
but
rest.
still it was like,
But I still
it's
was
mentally, it's physically you're fine. It's just
Yeah.
mentally you're like,
I'm
man.
over this.
When I got back on there during AJ's, I rode like a 152 because I was like, I can't get myself to go under 150 again.
No.
I just did that for a whole set. And the last one, I was pulling like 145, 143. I like handed it off, and I literally fell off the rower. I'm just laying there dead. Ben probably filmed it. I don't even know.
Yeah.
The video comes out.
That's
It'll be out when this comes out. So
It's a cool challenge.
Yeah,
Going
that's
back to
crazy.
I probably told this story before, but at Wadapalooza.
Oh,
this would've
Dre?
been, like,
Your motivation of Dre?
2017,
yeah.
Where it was
good.
final worm workout, and there's no chance for us to win the competition. But I'm just so angry at this point that I'm like, we're gonna win the worm workout, right?
Yes,
And so Dre
final
is
day.
like, he I think is on the front of the worm. No, he's in the middle of the worm. He's doing the calling or whatever. And so we switch or something happens, and Dre's like down on his knees and like looking at the worm. And so I walk over to him and I say some like, Dre is what you got to learn is different people require different motivation. Like I never once talked to any of the girls like this, or like it was just
I can't say that I haven't talked to girls like this.
that's just not this is not
Yeah.
why you've just got to learn how to motivate
Yeah.
different people differently. And some of the girls you could be a little like, hey, come on, we got
Oh
this.
yeah.
And some of you had to like whatever. But with Dre, and even some of the guys are a little bit different. With Dre, you have to just dog him and tell him how
custom.
much of a piece of crap he is, basically. And so
Yeah.
he's down, kind of like looking at the worm, and I go over and I'm like say some things, and I don't dog him, but I give him some choice words or whatever. But it's very calm, and like it doesn't look like I'm shouting at him, and I wasn't, And so after it,
Just
I
getting
think we
his
ended
mind
up
right.
finishing second, but barely, and because it finished with like 30 worm clean and jerks or something, and Jared Stevens from 417 at the time comes over and he's like, man, whatever you said to Dre was like looked real calm and like got him going and whatever. And I, at no point was there any positive, uplifting
Yeah.
speech in there.
Yeah,
so
that's how I
crazy.
am too. Like if I don't really necessarily need that to like do what I need to do. Like I know what I need to do. But if someone's gonna say something to me, it better just be super hateful.
yeah,
Yeah.
hateful or even just like, hey,
Demeaning.
Yeah,
Demeaning.
yeah.
I need to feel like a piece of trash in order to do better
don't come
than what
to me
I'm
and
doing.
be like, hey man, you got this.
Oh, I'd
I
be
need
so
demeaning.
mad. I would be so mad.
Like I think Dom started to adopt it over the season, where like basically he's like, well, all right, I guess you don't want to win that event of the games. Like I'll be in the middle of doing something. I'll be like getting tired. He's like, all right, I mean like second or third place is pretty good too.
I
And it's like, oh my
hate you.
god.
I love he does that to Roman,
Yeah.
and it's so great. Like
Oh, yeah, it
Roman's
gets
in the
under his
middle of a
skin
workout
bad.
going like, it'll be like a set of 50 GHDs, and he'll break at I don't know a 40, let's say, and he'll be like so and so wouldn't.
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
He goes like, yeah, Ricky's not breaking.
Yeah.
He goes, Adler's not breaking. Like,
Yeah, it's so good.
it is so good.
That's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Dom is you don't expect that out of him.
No, you
because
don't.
he's
That's
like
what makes
super
it-
calm, super soft spoken.
Exactly.
And he-
That's what makes it cut deeper.
Yeah, but he knows when to go there
Because
and
he know.
yeah.
Yeah, he's he's cutting deep because like he's not like us where he's just like kind of busting your balls like being mean, like he's just like joking around. He's like, hey, you're not gonna win the games doing that.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I get it.
Okay.
I hear you. I
Yeah,
hear you.
he's dead serious. Are you around Friday?
Oh,
Yeah.
he'll love it.
Rich always says like one of the many reasons he still has to stay in shape, and one of them is to like occasionally show athletes
Beat the
that
athletes.
he can still like win a workout here and
Yeah,
there.
it's below, as long as we're not going below parallel, then I'm
You,
good.
you got to see if there's anything that comes in
But
the
it
wheelhouse.
depends on the day, actually.
Well,
Like
hopefully Friday's a good day.
some days I can get below parallel, some days I can't. And those days that I can, I just stay away from it.
You've been doing a lot of the 75 front squats.
Yeah, just trying to just.
Is it 5x15 or is it 75 as fast as you can?
Yeah, I actually took it from Sean Pastich a couple years ago, that just to build some squat volume back up, and so I started at 165 on back and 135 on front, and just add 5 pounds a week. But you do 75 reps, and then you break as needed. But every time you break, you have to take a minute rest, and so it's basically for time. But
Yeah.
and then once it gets to a certain weight, I might back it down to like 60, and then back it down to like 45 or something. I don't know how long I'm going to do it, but
remember
seems to
that.
have helped a little bit of the squat volume, I guess.
Ben and I, we did the Nerves of Steel
Yeah.
and back squatted 450. And then like yesterday, we did a row wall ball total bar workout that was on Compete. And then you're supposed
You
to
did that.
take like 5 sets to go to
How bad was that
It was
workout?
like a hunt.
It was
power hour
bad.
you did.
It was so bad.
Yeah, but you're supposed to build to a heavy,
Was it
like
40, 30, 20
yeah,
every 5
every
minutes.
7, I think.
Oh, okay. So I did it like every 5 or 6 minutes.
Every 5 would have been bad because
It
it
was
took
terrible.
almost 4 minutes
Yeah,
for
I
a
can't
set
remember
for
what
me.
you did.
Terrible.
But then we back squatted after, and I don't know. I feel like for me, when I'm in the middle of a squat cycle, I can like really go dark on squats.
Yeah.
But if I'm just like maintaining my squat, so we
Yeah.
got up to like 385, and we're like, yeah, we're
I'm
good.
good.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the week before, or like 3-4 weeks before, we're hitting 385 for like 8x3.
Yeah.
It's so
crazy.
funny how
you lose it so quick. It feels
Yeah.
like it's like the mental capacity to squat.
that's
heavy
what it
reps.
is. Like I can, if I have the mental capacity and I'm fully healthy, I can squat 430, 440.
Yeah.
But
But you need to like be in that zone
But
for a
if
few
I'm-
weeks, and then you're like, okay, now I can do it.
if I'm not, then it's like 405 is kind of like the weight I can hit.
I did a max effort set at 365 the other day, and how many do you think I should be able to do? How
What's
many
your
could you
max?
do? 425.
What'd you say? 365?
365 for a
I would.
max effort set. Like it's not like
12.
You probably
12?
did. I think you did
10.
7.
I did 6.
Oh, I was gonna say 6.
I did 6, which
thinking
is for
6 to
sure a PR for me. I've never done. I think I've done 3. I've done like 3x3 at 365, but that's
Yeah.
with tons of rest. That's not the same. 6 in a row. It was the last thing I did that day. Like I'd done a lot. Like that's a big deal.
I want to see how many
That means my
times
squat's
at
big.
some point you would like this too. So I've never like, or not never, but like in recent probably 4 years, I've not worked out up to a heavy single on that, like a true max on deadlift. So for a while, 515, I did it for 3, I think, and that was like the most I'd ever done for 1 even. And then we're doing like some conjugate stuff, and I pulled 525 like 3 straight weeks from 3 different variants, but it didn't really feel like a max. I want to do 500, but like bouncing it, not like, basketball bouncing it, but like a legal bounce. I want to see how many times I can pull it.
That
That would be fun.
Dude, I don't have the capacity to deadlift heavy anymore. Like I just I don't
It's
have
like
the
me
mental
with a
capacity
snatch
for
or a
it.
clean.
Hurts my back every time. If to
Really?
pull over 500 pounds hurts my
I've
back.
been doing a
every
bunch
time.
of hook grip.
Really?
And it seems to have helped my back because I think just having that
Twisting
little
it.
bit of twist hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, hook gripping the deadlift.
Yeah.
Ow.
I think I've switched to conjugate and just kind of lift and then just accessorize the shit out of it.
Yeah.
You know, basically is what I've done.
I
I
did,
told you last night after we did that 440 workout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sucks. It's not terrible, but it's just kind of like flicking a scab for a long time.
The workout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 4 minutes on.
I don't know if we can say it.
What?
What week was it?
I don't know. Who cares? People can.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter.
It's your company.
Yeah, it's my company. I do what I want.
It's your
It's
show.
North Korea. I control the media here. It's a dictatorship. As much as I'm all for Republic. Anyway, so I'll let you guys have some voice for the most part.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's beside the point.
That being said,
That
here's
being
the
said,
workout.
here's the workout. So it's 4, and it's not. It's just like blah. Like it's just there. It sucks. 4 minutes on, 2 minutes off. 40 deadlifts, 40 hang cleans, 40 shoulder overhead, all with 75 pounds.
Oh my god.
And so I did that for video sake, which just sucks. Like
Oh
That
my
workout's a nightmare for
gosh.
me.
it's just like
That
sucks.
workout's such a nightmare.
I broke the whole thing in 22 and 18. I would hit 20, whatever set, whatever, and just
Oh
and
my
you leave.
gosh,
You start
I
where you
hate
leave
that
off,
so
right?
bad.
And so I did that, and I was like, I need to do something else. So I went to the basement because these guys left, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna dip. And so I did dips with a band tied to a dumbbell and like worked to a heavy set of 10, and then did some tricep stuff. Holy cow! But that's basically I'm conjugate, some type of conjugate strength.
That workout is worst case scenario for me because I have a good deadlift and good deadlift capacity, but for whatever
Doesn't
reason,
matter,
my
yeah.
deadlift speed from like 225 to 365
It's the
stays
same.
exactly the
Oh,
same.
I did, at no
I can't
point
speed it up.
at no
Oh
point
my
did I
gosh.
push the pace. You know,
And I'm not efficient at hang power cleans at any weight.
Did you bounce them? You gotta bounce them.
No, it's no bounce. Didn't you say there's no bounce? You can't.
yeah, no
bounce
pop
the-
clean.
Yeah, no
pop
pop
clean. I
clean.
mean, people can do what they want. It's a
Yeah.
challenge workout. Who cares?
There's
Like,
an insane amount of giveaways for these workouts too. Like, let me open up.
well, you just have to do the workout. It's not for like the
so
person who wins
Yeah.
doesn't get
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
It's that you,
You just
did
have
the
to do
workout.
it.
so
yeah.
basically, yeah, they have to log the workout in,
Yeah.
and then like a random person selected.
Yep.
But like for example, like they're getting like one of the weeks they're getting like a barbell, a grill, Yeti, Airwave, stuff from Heart and Soil, Blokes Panel, Mountain Ops Froning Stack, Mayhem Apparel Package.
Heck yeah.
They're just getting so much stuff.
Well, on a similar note, with Conquer 90 starts this next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this next week, and we are retesting our Mayhem Hunt tests, benchmarks.
The first
tests
week of Conquer 90 is a retest.
is a retest.
For people that have been in Hunt.
It's for people who've been in Hunt and for people who may be joining to
They're
start Conquer 90.
They're testing.
So they're going to test it, and then that's going to be the end. Is going to be a retest basically of those workouts again.
I got a good baseline strength, not baseline, a good strength test.
Give it to him.
Is
Is this your power hour? Or
yes.
No? Yeah,
Dude,
I'm going to use that.
That was terrible.
I am going to use
the deadlift wasn't that bad. The bench though sucked. So basically, we took
on the minute one.
Yeah, the Mayhem Hunt.
Ben said we're doing that today. Me and him.
Oh, nice.
Is it body weight and 1.5?
1.5 body weight for deadlift.
Yeah.
For 10, which honestly I thought was gonna be the hard part. Granted, my back was like
bench is so much harder for me.
It was, So sorry, alternating minutes for 20 minutes. I hate the term EMOM. Everybody knows that. So you alternate on the minute. 1 minute you do deadlift. So odd minutes you do deadlift for 10 body weight and a half, and then on the even minutes you do body weight bench for 10. And the gold standard.
Did you weigh yourself before, or you just
no,
guessed?
I'm 190. I've been 192 for a long time.
Yeah,
but not whatever. 192. I went with 195 as my weight, and it was the bench. I was like, yeah, it'll get hard.
The bench was hardest.
The bench got so hard. The deadlift was nothing.
Yeah.
My bench is gonna be hard.
I was unbroken. I think through like 6, and then I went like 6'4".
Yeah.
Or 7'3", I can't remember, and then I had to go like 6'2".
You're like,
and I was like timing it
57 seconds.
Yeah. So it was. I made it, but it was tough.
Yeah, the bench is gonna be hard from set one. I mean, it's 100 reps at.
Yeah, because
for me, like 210.
Muscles are smaller. I mean, like the deadlift, you can kind of grit through it a little bit. The bench, there's no grit.
And
it's
surprisingly,
like when it's gone,
the workout we did, so like the Metcon, I guess, which that was a Metcon too.
Yeah,
that was hard. And honestly, round whatever 10 minutes in, I tweaked my calf. Like I get this random it feels like an electrocution right here on the side of my calf. And so I was like, all right, I'm done with that. So I wheel an Echo bike over. It was way worse with Echo bike.
I like that working a lot.
Did you ever test your 2K at the end of that run progression?
No. I tweaked my calf.
So that's right.
I was like a week and a half.
I know you don't like testing, but now that you don't necessarily compete, I didn't know if you would test more.
I'm not testing jack, man.
I've started to think about that even more lately. Test my 2K. I'll test your 2K.
I'll show you. Where are you going to stick that 2K?
I bet I could beat you at a 2K is all I'm going to say.
You can right now for sure. I'm so soft on an outdoor run. I
could definitely beat you outside. On the runner even.
I don't think so. I can run hard on the runner right now. I've been running hard intervals on the runner. I'm in good runner shape. Like sometimes I would tell you could right now, probably not.
Do you think you could hold over a 17 for a 2K?
For sure.
Okay.
I could probably hold 18.2. 18.2.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah. Well, my mile is like is 19.2.
Oh, I forgot. We're talking to a guy that can run 3-minute 800s on repeat.
Yeah.
I did run some yesterday. And they were repeats actually.
Why are you running so much on the runner?
Because it's freezing and it rains almost every other day here.
It does rain a lot.
I did run, but I ran at the track last week, and it was so sore. I was an embarrassment. I'm glad I was the only one there.
Why?
It was so sad.
Why? How do you get bad running outside if you've been running on? Because to me,
it's just way different stimulus.
To me, it's easier.
Like running outside.
So I
thought so too.
If I run all winter on the runner, this is like from experience.
Well,
and then I run outside, I feel like I'm running 10 miles an hour faster.
Yeah. Sorry, I was running I was trying to run a 1200 at my mile pace, so I was like sprinting on the track. Like I wasn't like running.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to run a 345 1200.
See I've
never done.
What I told Ben, the difference for me is, and I don't know why this is, but when I'm on the runner, I'm limited by muscular fatigue.
Yeah.
And when I'm running outside, I'm limited by my heart exploding.
I
can't get to that point on the runner.
I was limited by my muscular fatigue because my muscle endurance because I was sprinting. Like I was trying to sprint a mile basically. And it was so bad. I have to run outside once a week. I have to.
I'm backing off on the running right now though, because I did so much all summer and all fall with like getting
Yeah,
ready for
getting
the
ready for
mountains. Now I'm trying to regain strength and
What-
everything.
When are you gonna start swimming? Or are
I
you
don't know
gonna
if I'm
start
going
swimming?
to. I don't know if we're gonna swim this year. I may never swim again. I was just thinking about that.
You'll swim in a pool probably.
I like
You
to
think?
swim.
I think so.
So I should start swimming again.
I
You
think you'll swim in a pool at the games.
Dick, what's your opinion on that?
So
think
are
we'll
you
swim to the
guys
games?
are you
Swim
guys
to-
trying to compete? What's the deal with the team?
Yeah, same team.
I
We'll
think there
run it
could be
back.
swimming at the pool in a pool. I have no idea. I mean, I've heard grumblings or not grumblings. I've heard
Rumblings.
where it's gonna be. I don't know what that city looks like whatsoever. I mean, everybody's heard it's gonna be in Albany, New York.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know if
that's
that's
not-
true or not.
Well, that's been said.
Oh, it has.
No, sorry. It's been said. Me and JR did a podcast. He said on the podcast, like,
all right.
well, I don't know if he can say that or not.
Yeah,
Not that
whatever.
He cares.
You know, you hear.
Well, you heard it from Rich here. It's third.
I don't know if that's true or not, but
It could be.
I don't know anything about Albany. I don't think we'll.
They did
I
a
don't-
regional at this
I don't
place
know.
before.
I don't know if we'll ever swim again open
Yeah.
water. I don't know if we should, but you know, I think it's fine. I think
You have to run, bike, swim, do some gymnastics and some
sorry, I
weightlifting.
forgot
If
As
you want
long
to say you're
as-
the fittest man on
As
earth.
long as the swim test in the pool isn't like that skiing one, because that didn't really
It's a ski
test.
test.
It didn't test swimming. Yeah,
No,
as long
it's
as
a
it's
ski
like
test.
a true swim test, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I think you'll swim in a pool.
Yeah. You can't ski and call it a swim test, and you can't double under and call it a run test. That's just how I feel.
I think it'll be a nuisance to find probably somewhere to. I'm sure it's like annoying for them to find somewhere to
is,
swim
it
and
is.
like rent it out or whatever for the whole
Yeah.
day and all that. But I'm sure you'll.
It is. It's relative. It's on. I mean, it's out of the top 5 things. It is 5th on my list of importance. But those 5 things have to be done if you want to say you're the fittest man on earth.
So when did you guys decide to run the team back? Because I thought Sam was like up in the air.
I think Sam just randomly texted me a couple weeks ago and said he was in. The girls were in.
So
before
why
the
did
season
he?
was over.
Why did he decide to not go indie?
He just has fun on the team, I think. And I think like, well, they're gonna move back home after this season.
Yeah.
And
Boo.
yeah, Zoe's gonna pull him back to Michigan, ruin all of our lives.
I think they should break up. So Sam stays here.
and so he basically said like, well, I'm with like, there's no point in thinking I should start competing individual and like kind of start now. And he like, I mean, he doesn't have the desire as much. He likes going on a team, and we're a really good team, and we have a good time. And like, I think it's almost like it's same as me, basically our lifestyle balance. Like we can still have a pretty high quality of life and do really good at the games as a team. I mean, I really think we can win this year.
Well, also you guys all have jobs too.
Yeah, and
So,
yeah, and
like full-time jobs.
And he doesn't have any interest of like making it his full-time job. Like he wants to go home and build his house, work and build his house for the next year or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like he doesn't want to go back and
Yeah,
have to train.
Sam said he wants. So they're building a house up there, and he wants to find someone to do foundation framing, and then he wants to build it from there.
That's what he's gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically his whole plan. He's just gonna build his house for a year or two. He's gonna be building it.
He's
They've
gonna
got
love
to be.
it, too.
From what I've heard, he's got a pretty good piece of property that I think they're gonna be able to build on. So it's gonna be cool. But yeah, I just think we all enjoyed it so much, and it's like it's so low stress. Like obviously, competition is relatively stressful a little bit, but our team is we get along so good. It's a fun time.
What are you gonna do in 2026?
What do you mean? I've got plenty of shit I can fill my time with. This will be my time. I'll be a lot better shape when I don't have this freaking CrossFit going on. I have the competition season going on, dude. My quality of life is gonna spike. It's gonna go straight up. I got plenty of stuff.
Angela's gonna have he's gonna have the clipboard during CrossFit season, barking at athletes, and then he's just gonna hide in the woods all fall.
This is
Dude,
actually
it's
a
gonna
good
be incredible.
segue to another discussion. An unknown source. No, I'm just kidding.
Great.
It's Andrew Hiller. He posted.
Oh, no.
The thing about
CrossFitters were never meant to retire.
that one, yeah, that's good.
And then the
Hey,
post says,
he
which,
wants you to talk about this
yeah,
so bad.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
but this is the point. He said we should be getting Rich Froning versus Matt Frazier every year. Do not believe the test of fitness is intended by Glassman. So you see that in there. Was meant to have an end. If CrossFit was meant to increase quality of life, then wouldn't the best training program be the one provided the longest return on investment? It shouldn't be Fraser 1.4, Froning 1.4, or 5, sorry. Fraser 1.5, Froning 1.4. It should be Froning, Fraser average to finish a 3.4 at age 90. While I agree, I also disagree. So what Glassman intended CrossFit as, you basically got to look at it two different ways. CrossFit, yes, I'll CrossFit for the rest of my life. But in the process and in the evolution of CrossFit came the games. So, and I would say Dave started the CrossFit Games. Greg started CrossFit. Dave started CrossFit Games. While they're the same thing, they're two entirely different things, right? So, and I commented on there just saying I retired from competing, but I'll never retire from fitness or doing CrossFit. So that's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, you're not meant to compete
not.
in a sport your entire life.
No, and it's two completely different things. And I think it's okay that they are completely different things.
Yeah.
And they are the same thing.
And
but
it's not your fitness drop off and even Fraser's fitness drop off isn't the reason why you guys retired.
No.
You guys retired
Mental,
to change your quality of life,
quality
basically.
Of life.
And while you were competing, you probably thought your quality of life was like really high. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, this is awesome, having fun. But then like there's a time where it takes a dip and you're
Switches.
like, hey, I want to do something else with my time.
At some point to be the best, you can't do anything else.
No.
So, and your headspace has to be all tied up in that.
This is good.
Yeah.
So at some point you can't do that.
No.
And even if you aren't a champion like you guys were, even if you're finishing like 20th every year, at some point your body just isn't going to be able to do it. And that's fine. Like you shouldn't be able to be a professional athlete your entire life. Like it shouldn't be sustainable.
No.
That's the whole point. But the methodology is sustainable. That's why we have members that are 70 and 80 improving their quality of life just from doing CrossFit.
Here you go.
Put it by the mic.
Other than breathing, football was most important. Not family, not kids, not brother, not mom, not sister. And I make no apologies for what I was able to accomplish in my 14 years. And I tell people, the greater the player, the more selfish that he is. Yeah. So if you think, oh man, he ain't, no. Oh, he's a team guy. Okay, he might be, he's a team guy. But there are things you have to miss. You have to miss some recitals. You have to miss some flag football games. You got practice. You got meetings. You got to work on your craft. And that.
He said, other than breathing, football is the most important thing.
Shannon Sharp's in some hot water right now.
What's going on with him?
Oh, no, we ain't going on. We're not talking about that. That's a whole Fox Sports. Everybody's in hot water. I don't know if he's, I guess he is technically in hot water. Anyway, no, I agree, man.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks is that, like, and we've talked about it, and not to beat a dead horse, but there's this complete, Glassman came out and said the CrossFit Games were not important, and it was his company. Burn it down if he wants to, whatever, wanted to. They're just different. They're two different things, but they're also the same. Like, it just shows you what is possible from the CrossFit methodology if you obsess with it, right?
Yeah.
And that's basically what I did, what Fraser did, what anybody who's won, I think, has done.
Yeah.
And, there's nothing wrong. I don't, there's nothing wrong with it. If that's what you want to do, me and Dave was like, hey, will you do one of the open announcements? And I'm like, Dave, I'm a shell of I can, there's some workouts depending on the workout that I can still hang and still do.
But if he announced it and it's something that you can't
that
hang
I can't
with,
hang with, and I'm not doing it. I don't want to. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't like to be the bear.
Who do they
in
want
the
you to
cage
go? Who do they want you to go
I don't know.
against?
I don't care. But I'm just like, some days I like throwing down, and then there's some days I don't want to throw down.
What if you were going against like Dan?
No, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'd team up with Dan, like we do at Fresh Coast, and go against the other old guys.
You guys should team up and go against one current athlete.
They'll crush them. They'll crush them.
So,
Rich is all what is it? All show, no go. Unless it's the right
I was
workout.
about to say, I think I can still go on some things, but I just
I need to go off on a little rant. Not on my own accord. Bird has told me to help grow our new track on Mayhem Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
The garage/minimal option. We had the minimal option in the regular programming. We decided to split them. I decided to split them to basically it is the minimal equipment option, garage option, whatever you want to call it. It does both of those pretty well. So like hotel, garage, gym. It's basically the bare. If you have the bare essentials for a garage gym, then you can do those workouts. And then as you graduate, and obviously with your fitness graduate, you're probably going to want to buy more equipment. You're probably going to want to expand your garage gym. You're going to buy a sandbag. You're going to buy maybe a rower. You're going to buy a squat rack, a barbell. Then you can upgrade and go into the Boone and Crockett or Pope and Young versions that we still have in our normal track. But so now we have them split. Basically, I can add more value that way. The strength program is going to be more specific to it. The accessory is going to be more specific. The workouts will be the same, but even just a little, they'll be a little different because I'm not trying to keep the same stimulus of that workout. The middle option to the Pope and Young and Boone and Crockett, they're very similar, but now I can change it up a little bit more because I'm not worried about them being the same. So like this option is new and it's going to give you probably the same stimulus, but some days it may look a little more different. So if you're a garage gym goer, minimal equipment, and you're a hotel gym person, this is kind of your option. It's supposed to give you a little bit of a different, give you another option that maybe we didn't have before. Should add a little more value to your life if that's the way you want to go. So we just started that. Basically, that was yesterday. We started that yesterday.
That's partnering with Conquer 90.
This is and then especially for people who signed up for Mayhem Hunt or are signing up for Mayhem Hunt and they're like, I don't really know what this is. I'm just gonna try this fitness stuff. It's the beginning of the year. Conquer 90. Like
which if you're listening to this podcast is probably not you.
Yeah, true. It's true. Yeah, if you want to start the Conquer 90, like, and you're trying to get into fitness, I guess is another way to get into it. The Conquer 90 challenge will be on both of them. You just do those workouts. They'll both be accounting for it. And like we said earlier, the benchmark week is going to be the start of that. And we'll train through Conquer 90 and retest afterwards. So hopefully you guys get fitter through it.
Your fitness.
We're definitely going to. Sorry, what are you going to say?
No,
You're
go
going to
ahead.
change subject.
No,
we are going to do 4 weeks of a ruck program. So if you're interested in rucking, there's a 5K ruck. A spoiler alert for you who don't subscribe. That is one of our benchmarks, a 5K ruck with a 30 or 20 pound ruck. And then we will do basically a ruck cycle. So we're going to build an aerobic capacity with that and rucking, specifically running and rucking. And then we'll retest that. And also felt like a good time to do that because we're going to be building mostly strength, but we want to hang on to that fitness and start the base of the year for the ruck program. And
I need to find what my 5K ruck was.
You did with a 50 though, I think.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna do it heavy.
I did. I need to find.
So yeah, we're gonna do some rucking 2 days a week for the next 4 weeks, and then we'll do it at least once a week for the remaining 4 or 5 weeks. So
I'm trying to find the time to beat.
Time to beat.
Yeah.
His ruck. He did the 50-pound ruck.
So if you want to really challenge yourself, 5K ruck with a 50-pound ruck, 26:02.
That's fast.
I don't know if that's fast or slow, but
I think it's
Feels
pretty
like
fast.
it's fast.
give it a try.
So yeah, that's
As long as there's no trees or rocks, Scott will be fine.
Speaking of Conquer 90, we started Mayhem 440 yesterday as we're recording this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's the reason for having 2 of these challenges? Because I feel like that might be confusing for some
Completely
people.
different audiences, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, Conquer 90 is partnered with Mountain Ops. It's for Mayhem Hunt. So, you know, it's just to kind of broaden our reach in different areas of fitness, I guess. And then 440 is more towards our Mayhem crew, more traditional gym goer.
I had a lot of epiphanies about this last night. You can go ahead, but
And so, you know, they're honestly very similar. You know, with Mayhem 440, or the 440 challenge, we have the 4 pillars of faith, family, fitness, service over Scott's right shoulder, your left if you're watching. That's who we are. And so there's 4 check boxes a day, and you're trying to check those boxes. Conquer 90 is similar, but it's a completely different crowd. That's, you know, more outdoorsy space. I mean, you can do both technically because you're really fulfilling both.
yeah,
And if you win 440, you get 10K.
Yep.
And there will also be a male and a female winner winning 10K of Conquer 90.
Yep. So
a lot of money on the line.
A lot of money on the line.
I was thinking about this last night. I had a long epiphany while I was laying in bed listening to the guys go in and out to that guy who was burning himself with gasoline.
Bring it back.
Jeez.
Can you use that?
That was a weave.
Yeah.
It was a weave. So I've gotten the question a few times by DM or maybe by word of mouth, the difference between the two. Like, well, sorry, not those two necessarily, but like even just like
Hunt.
what I do Everyday Hero and what I do on Mayhem Hunt. And really the idea is the same. We're doing CrossFit. But it's up to your goal as to what you're looking for. So like it could be Everyday Hero. This is going to be basically the Mayhem Compete track, Everyday Hero, from what I know, because I look at the Mayhem Compete and I look at Everyday Hero. Those are the things that I look at on a Mayhem side mostly, and then Mayhem Hunt is, what I do over there, the programming. So if you're looking at Compete or Everyday Hero, you are going to follow mostly the game season. You're going to follow like your progressions and your weightlifting stuff, your aerobic stuff. All that is going to follow the trend of the game season mostly, because that's what people are training for, whether it's the open or quarterfinals or whatever, open or semifinals, whatever we're calling it now. You're going to follow those trends. So your your deloads and your build-up weeks are going to be totally different than what Mayhem Hunt will be, where you're peaking mostly for, I'll say turkey season too. Like we'll peak some for turkey season, but not as much. Yeah, some spring turkey and then
Spring bear
for like, 10 people that do it?
No, there's a lot of people that do
Really?
spring bear. Yeah.
Must be nice. And then
Some people are allowed west of the Mississippi, Angelo.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. But mostly the fall. We're looking at the peak of the fall, and we're looking at like long grinding endurance event. We'll say it's an event, a hunt, which that's not all we do over there, but that's your CrossFit Games, if you will. So your trend is your year of training is totally different than it would be. Not totally. We're doing CrossFit, but it is different than somebody who's going to follow either the Compete or Everyday Hero. So I'm not telling you to do one or the other. It's really up to the individual.
What their goals are.
If you want to, if
what
you
your
just
year looks like, what.
If you want to do the open and your goal is to have a good open performance, or to do a CrossFit competition and Mayhem Compete partners with them, like, because we partner with a lot of different competitions, you can prepare for those with that, and that's basically where I would go for that. If you want to hunt, if you're looking to go out west, if you're looking, I know a lot of people east do a lot of public land hunting, whitetail public land, and it's very similar to out west hunting. If you've done both, you probably would agree, especially if you're like the Appalachian Mountains.
Lachin
then
or Lashin?
How do you supposed to say
I'm
it?
just kidding. Caramel.
So if you're gonna do that, then Mayhem Hunt's probably for you. So I guess that I've gotten that question a lot actually. So
yeah,
hopefully that answers it. This is one place you can hear that it's not up to me to tell you what to do. It's up to you to know what your goal is, and they'll both get you pretty fit.
So are we getting people strong right now on Mayhem Hunt?
Not yet. We will be. We're gonna start. We have been doing workout and lift all season because we're just trying to like maintain some fitness and then keep fit, but then maintain strength. Like that's kind of on the back burner. But now we're basically going to be doing strength every day first, and we're going to be doing a.
Dang it, man.
We're going to be doing a Wendler 531 style.
Wendler's classic
style strength.
531.
It's pretty much exact. It is Wendler, basically, the idea. It's what I'm doing right now. We're going to do pretty much all your main lifts, like what I consider the main lifts. We're going to do back squat, front squat, deadlift, weighted pull-up, and bench press. So we're going to hit some good lifts. Then we're going to hit some really good accessory afterwards, some unilateral accessory.
Nice.
We're going to hit some unilateral accessory.
That's a buzzword.
Yeah, that is a buzzword. And some pump sesh afterwards. So that's going to be like kind of your main piece, and then afterwards we're going to either have a CrossFit workout or we'll have some of the ruck cycle. So our main focus going into the next...
You should do a cycle overview just right there. Look at that.
Yeah, that was it.
That's efficient.
That was it.
It's going to be at least 6 to 9 weeks or so of pretty much the Wendler. And
6 to 9 months.
And really we're going to go through that because we're going to test all those lifts with the benchmark week, and then we're going to go into some heavy lifting and stuff, focusing on that. And we're going to be focusing on building up those benchmarks, and then hopefully at the end of the Conquer 90, whether you're doing it or not, which I don't know why you wouldn't, then you would be able to retest those. Hopefully, if you're just following along, either way, you're going to be retesting all that stuff, and we're going to get stronger and possibly fitter at the same time.
Ooh, is that possible?
I'm not retesting the 5K, though.
Me either.
Then you'll never know if you got better.
I can't hurt like that.
I wrote it myself, so I've had a lot of people check it. I think Darren looked at it, Dom looked at it, Lockhart looked at it. I don't know if Hinshaw ever saw it or not, but I did the 5K progression that I wrote. Yeah. It's like 12 weeks of it, so so it's gonna be good. You're gonna like it. Your body's gonna like it.
I would do the progression, but I don't think I would retest.
Yeah,
I don't want to hurt.
I'm not I don't blame you.
I think I can make myself hurt leading up to the hunting
RPE
season,
or actual time?
It's RPE.
Okay, good.
It's RPE.
That's what I like.
Yeah,
might do it.
Because it's too. Well, I don't write aerobic capacity programs all the time, so I can't know exactly what, like, I can't give you guys 2 times that I know you're going to be able to hit, and if you don't hit them, then you're going to be like, oh, I'm a failure for the rest of the day. Yep. It's the same thing as retesting it. Like, if you retest it and you're not any better, like, you're pretty tapped out on a lot of your fitness. You've gotten to, like, the edge pretty far.
Completely regressing on my fitness, 100%.
So, like, I mean, a retest for someone like you or someone like me, or definitely him too, is like, you probably got better, but it comes in waves. Like, if you get better at rucking, you're probably weaker.
Well, it's like right now, to PR lifts, I have to be a little bit more out of shape.
The same way,
but I'm not in Western season, so then when I get in shape, I'm like hoping to be able to back squat 405 or front squat, 90%, whatever.
Yeah, the goal of it is basically, obviously I keep saying this, if we're getting new people in from Conquer 90, you maybe have not done definitely not this style of structure, because I mean, this is the first full cycle I've written like this, so you've never done my structure. So whether it's good or bad, it's going to be different, and you're going to try it out. And
Angelo cycle.
Yeah, and maybe it helps you, maybe it doesn't. But I think for the people who've never tried it, you're probably going to get something out of it. You're either going to get fitter or stronger, and probably both, I feel.
Well, I mean, saying from like me I have access to so many workouts all the time, but I'm going back, like yours are always like, I feel like very effective, and they're fun to do. So I think people like it.
I think we've got some good structure going on right now. So it's a good time to get into it. The structure is the whole structure is coming up for the next through the Conquer 90 is going to be really good, and be fun to follow.
Dang, you can pull all kind of clips on this for Mayhem Hunt. Look at you.
Yeah,
doubled up.
But yeah, the whole benchmark thing, like for the 3 of us, for sure, like there's so many factors that come into a benchmark for us. Like,
I'm about to do one of these 440 workouts, and it's going to be atrocious because my triceps hurt so bad.
Yeah,
like, there's
exactly.
no way around it, So
I'm never going to be able to get, if I really feel like you guys are going to talk shit to me when I say this, but I did
100% always.
Last year I did 30 ring muscle ups on broken.
Oh, here we go.
I'm never even gonna try to do it again because the stars probably aligned.
It's the same way with me with snatching 305 or 307. Like, no need to try it because I did it.
The stars aligned. I did it. Cool. I'm done. It's the same thing as like unbroken Karen. Do I think I could do it? Yeah. Do I need to do it?
I want to do it?
If it comes to a competition, I'll do it. Like, I'm not going to just pull out a wall ball and do it one day. There's just so many lifestyle factors. Like, did you eat enough yesterday? Did you drink enough water? And then it's like, oh, well, when I did it last time, I was like, I slept 10 hours before, and I got up and I had 4 cups of coffee, and I was like ready to go. And then now it's like, or maybe the opposite. Or maybe I'm like, I got 3.5 hours of sleep at work, and I did 3 workouts before this, and now I'm supposed to go and retest this. Yeah, right. Like, there's so many factors that once you've really tapped into the last little percentage, you're like, for me, it's not worth it. Like, I'm derailing my training. I'd rather just train. I'm getting better fitness out of just like true training than I am like testing my fitness. I tested on the competition floor.
I don't ever go to the competition floor. So.
You tested in the woods because that's what you train for.
True.
That's your competition floor.
It is.
That's exactly what we just talked about.
That's true.
All right. We got anything else we need to discuss?
How have we done this?
Top decks?
I don't know. I'm sitting here.
It's about an hour and a half, probably.
It's probably pretty close. At least an hour.
Coffee's
10,
hitting.
hour 15.
I think I'm done.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be?
I think I'll go home now.
At your home?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Shouldn't I be what?
Well, I was going to say if the coffee's hitting.
Should be ready for another 30 minutes.
Yeah, you should be ready to go.
No, I'm talking about another way.
Oh, I gotcha.
Time to exit.
You got to evacuate.
Yep. So, all right. Leave some comments what you want us to talk about season-wise, whatever. We'll start podcasting more regularly.
We're back.
We're back. It's CrossFit season. I don't have any more hunts, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
All right. Peace.
All right.